Its Athenian ceramic bases portray the learners in ancient Greek spirit in athletic events such as the Olympic Games. Very, very important. In Greek culture, athletic event was very important in the Greek cultures. There are 7 learning objectives. First, geography of ancient Greece. Ancient Greece is very, very difficult to unify the politically because of its geography. Greece consists of mountainous country. Number 2, expansion of Greek culture throughout the Mediterranean world. Number 3, the war between the Greek and Persian Empire. Persian Empire and the Greek are the rival relationship. Topic 3, we will review the Greek responses to the Persian challenges. Number 4, contributions of ancient Greek in the fields of architecture, art, drama, and philosophy. Number 5, societies and religions of ancient Greeks. Number 6, Alexander's Empire. Number 7, Hellenistic culture. During the Alexander Empire. Okay. This map shows the Greek Macedonian world. The red area shows the location of Greek Macedonian world. Contents. This chapter has 7 contents. Section A, Early Greece. Section B, Archaic Greece. Section C, Classical Greece. Section D, the art and philosophy in the classical Greece. Section E, classical Greek society and the religion. Section F, the empire of Alexander the Great. Section G, connection and conflict in the Hellenistic world. Okay, section 1, Early Greece. In this section, we will study the why ancient Greece is very, very difficult to unify politically. Each city-states. Geography, large terrain. The Indo-Europeans reached the mainland of Greece before 1650 BCE. Ancient Greek civilization developed on the Lordland at the southern end of Balkan Peninsula. The first known Greek civilization on the peninsula was the Mycenaean, and its main site, Mycenae, was the prosperous center of the trade. Geographical barriers. Greeks' geographical barriers to the political unifications. Geography was the main barrier to the Greek unifications. The communication between each state was very, very difficult in the ancient Greeks. Why? Because of geographical barriers. Greece is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, Ionian Sea, Aegean Seas. Greece is a mountainous country. Small mountain range. Each village is separated. A lot of Greek villages were isolated on the coast. This made the sea an important means of transport. See this map on the right side. The brown areas are mountainous. Brown areas represent a lot of mountains in the Greece. Most of the Greece territory are the mountainous. Advantage of this geography. Greece geography encouraged the development of independent cities and provide the barriers for invaders. Disadvantage. This geography provides the physically isolated communities. This map shows the Greece and Western Anatolia. Brown color area represented ancient Greek territory. In the ancient, the Byzantine, Ionia, Miletus, Ephesus, Lydia, Samos are all belong to the territory of Greece. Greece, ancient Greek people like and love with the shipping. Minoans and Mycenaeans were the two of the early civilizations that developed in the Greece. Minoan civilizations was originated in the Europe, not in Egypt. Minoans settled on the island of the Crete. Minoan civilization is refers to the Bronze Age Aegean civilizations on the island of Crete and other Aegean islands. This Minoan civilization was prosperous from around 2700 to around 4050 BCE. This Minoan civilization was finally finished around 1100 BCE because of the massive volcanic eruptions in the Santorini Island. Massive volcanic eruptions destroy the Minoan civilizations. Minoan people was originally settled in the Minoan, in the west of the Anatolia, in the west of the Asia, the Minor. Second civilizations, early civilization, is Mycenaean civilizations. Mycenaean was the first Greek people who speak the Greek language. Mycenaean was come from the Indo-European across the Caucasian mountain. They originally lived in the Ukraine steppe between Balkan Sea and the Black Sea. Mycenaean civilization refers to the Bronze Age civilization on the mainland of Greece. Mycenaean in the European people inhabited the area, mainland of the Greeks, from around 1600 to 1100 BCE. Mycenaean represent the first advanced and the first distinctively Greek civilization in the mainland Greece, with its palatial states and urban organizations and work of art and writing systems. What little we know about the Mycenaean rulers come from mainly Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Okay, the historian Homer writes the history of the Mycenaean civilizations. Therefore, today we learn a lot of Mycenaean civilization from the Homer's book, Iliad and Odyssey. Timeline of Greek history. Minoans arrived on the island of Crete in 2000 BCE from the Europe. They built the great civilizations. However, the massive volcanic eruptions destroyed these settlements and weakened these Minoan civilizations. There are a lot of volcanic eruptions. Second ancient civilization is Mycenaeans. Mycenaeans was the warriors from the city of Mycenae. Mycenaeans, the Europeans conquered the rest of Greece in 1400 BCE. Mycenaean were a warlike people. They advanced civilization for a time. The earthquake also and warfare with each other destroyed many cities by 1200 BCE. Therefore, Mycenaean civilization was weakened. At the time, the Dorians arrived 1200 BCE on the mainland of the Greeks. The next third wave of invaders were the Dorians. Dorians was originally settled in the Ionia area in the west side of Anatolia, in the west side of the Asia Minor, today the Turkey. Dorians originally came from the mountainous region in the north of Greece. Dorians swept through ancient Greece and eventually settled the city, which would become known as Sparta. Around 1200 BCE, after the Dorians took over, conquered the Greece, all the written records disappeared, stopped, because Dorians did not write the things down. After Dorians' reign, the Greeks, ancient Greece, fell into the Dark Age. This Dark Age lasted for more than 400 years. From 1200 BCE to around 750 100 BCE. This map shows the gold mask of Agamemnon. Who is the Agamemnon? Agamemnon was a king of Mycenae. Agamemnon conquered the Troy, destroyed the Troy. This mask of Agamemnon is a gold funeral mask discovered at the ancient Greek site of Mycenae. Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, led the Greeks at the siege of the Troy. On his return home, he was murdered by his wife and her lover, Aegisthus. Unhappy Mycenaean king. Greek Dark Age from 1200 to 750 BCE. One more, Dorian's settlement marked the beginning of Dark Age of ancient Greece. This Dark Age lasted about 400 years. At the time of Dark Ages, writings disappeared along with Mycenaean civilizations. No written evidence were existed for this Dark Age period. Polis. The polis was an independent city-state. An independent city-state was referred as a polis. The Mycenaean monarch gave way to the city-state. Greeks developed a number of ways for governing the city-state or the polis, governing the polis. Okay, this map shows the Greek city-state, the polis. Greek city-state was known as polis. This polis usually had very, very important location. Polis was built on high rocky hills against the invaders. The fortress was known as Acropolis. The Acropolis overlooked the town and overlooked the farmland and overlooked the marketplace in the open space below. Especially the marketplace was referred as the agora. The polis had very, very different cultures, however, agree on one thing. That one thing is that all non-Greeks was considered as a barbarians. Shocking equal democracy. Correct or not? One of the main purpose of agora was to provide open marketplace. Some historians argued that along with the exchange of olives in the agora marketplaces, the peoples also exchange ideas in the marketplaces, the agora. This exchange of ideas in the marketplaces may have helped the democracy develop. The culture of the Athenian polis. Athenian is the homeland of democracy. Demos means the people. Crash means the rule, control, dominate. Asians accept and welcome the foreigners. The man is expected to participate in the politics in the Asia. However, female, women, the citizens had very little freedom. Okay, section 2. Archaic Greece. In this section, we will learn why the Greeks find it necessary to colonize non-Greek areas. Greek colonizations and the spread of Greek cultures. Number 1, the causes and the consequences of the colonizations. Like the Phoenicians before the Greeks, the Greek settlers and the Greek traders tied the Mediterranean regions together by colonizations. Number 2, Greek oversees the settlement. The Greeks created the settlement along the Aegean Sea, Aegean coast of Ionia, located in the west of the modern Turkey. Located in the west of the Anatolia from 8th century BCE. The important colonies, Greek colonies, include Miletus, Ephesus, Smyrna, the Asians traditionally claim to be the first colonizer in the region, which was also of great interest to the Lydians and the Persians. The Lydians and Persians also wanted to colonize this area. However, Greece first colonized this area: Miletus, Ephesus, Smyrna, west coast of the Anatolia. Spread of Greek culture. Mycenaean culture of Greece had spread throughout much of the Asia, most famously to the city of the Troy. This map shows the Greek colonies during 750 to 550 BCE. Ancient Greeks was the sailors. Ancient Greeks were the explorers. Ancient Greek was a settler along the region, on the region around the Mediterranean Sea. Greek being found founding colonies as far back as 900 to 700 BCE. Why? The Greek people wanted to colonize the other area. These colonies were founded. These colonies were conquered, settled, in order to provide the release for Greek overpopulations and release for the land shortage for the Greek civilization. Mainland of Greece is very small or limited. Mainland is a mountainous country. No, not enough for farming area. Another reason, colonies were founded because of the Greek political unrest. Each city-state fought each other. These colonies, especially on the west side of the Anatolia, were the solution to this a lot of Greek problems. Rivalry between Sparta and Athens in the mainland of Greece. Sparta is a military oligarchy compared to the Asians. Sparta was less cohesive and more militaristic. Sparta functioned under the oligarchy of two hereditary kings of Egypt and European feminists. Asian democracies in the 621 BCE, the Draco created the Draconian constitutions in response to the unjust interpretations and modification of oral law by Asian aristocrats. Asians didn't have the hereditary kings. Only Sparta has hereditary kings. The Solon's reform in Asians. The Solon reform. The Asians in 594 BCE, Solon outlawed the slavery system. Solons opened the high officers, governmental officers, to more citizens. Solons granted citizenship to the foreigners. This map shows the Asians. Athens, the birthplace of democracy. Sparta, was famous for warrior culture, militaristic city-state. Most Spartan people are the Dorians. Okay, section 3, classical Greece. In this session, we review the war between the Persian Empire and the Greek. And we will evaluate the Greek responses to the Persian challenges. There was a tension in this region between Persia and Greece. Why did Persia and Greece go into war? A lot of reasons of this war. First, Greeks travel. Greek peoples are sailors. And Greek peoples are originally traders. Greeks traveled widely throughout the region. And the Greeks established the colonies, especially mainly on the west coast of the Anatolia. Number two, several of these Greek colonies was conquered by the Persians. Number three, the Greeks who lived in the Greek colonies resented being ruled by the strict Persian rule. Number four, Greek colonist people, Ionia, settlers on Ionia, enlisted the help of the mainland Greeks to stage a series of revolts against the Persian Empire. Number five, the Persian emperors, Xerxes, resented the Greek interferences, and the Xerxes decided to teach the Greeks a lesson. Okay, Persian War. Ionian city-state, Ionian Greek city-state in the western Anatolia. Ionia was settled by originally the Greek. Ionia were originally settled by the Greeks in the European people during around 1100 BCE, 140 years after Trojan War. Ionian were one of the four major tribes that divided into during the ancient period. The other three tribes are Dorians, Aeolians, Achaeans. Persian invasion of Greece, Persian Emperor Xerxes attacked the Greece, mainland Greece. Although Asians and Sparta cooperate in the Persian wars, that alliance fell apart after the Persians retreat. The alliance between Sparta and Asians are separated after the surrender of the Persian Empire. Greek alliance and the victory. Although not all Greek city-states joined in the effort to repel the Persians, the alliance led by Sparta and Asians succeed in the thwarting, evicting the Persian designs in the Greeks. This map shows the Persian War between 499 to 479 BCE. White sky color represents the Greek opponent of the Persia. Dark sky color represents the extent of revolt by Greek city-state. Ionia area. Represent the extent of revolt by Greek city-state. Brown color represent neutral Greek city-state. This slide shows the Persia versus the ancient Greeks. Between 490 BCE and 479 BCE, the Persian army of about 300,000 Persian men attempt to conquer the Greeks. However, a union of Greek cities, this union was led by Sparta and Athens. This union of Greek cities defeat the Persian Empire at the Battle of Thermopylae. Thermopylae was a long cave. Okay, and the final winner was the ancient Greece. Ancient Greece was a winner with a little help of landscape and the water, especially in the sea. In order to get into the central Greece, the Persian emperor needed to pass through this narrow canyon. This narrow canyon was at the place called Thermopylae. The Spartan king Leonidas placed only 300 Spartan army at the mouth of this canyon and delayed the Persian advances. However, Persian Emperor Xerxes finally the catch. The Spartan king Leonidas and Xerxes killed the Spartan king Leonidas. However, Persian army cannot advance in quickly. Okay? Meanwhile, the Asian navy destroyed all of the Persian fleet, Persian ship, with the help from the sea storm. Okay? Therefore, finally, Greece wins against the Persia. The rise of Athens. After the defeat of the Persia, the city of Athens rose to dominate entire Greece. Its powerful navy allowed to defend and extend its empire to the Aegean Sea, Mediterranean Sea, and Ionian Sea. The victory became wealthier and more populated than the Sparta. Athens became the famous for being the homeland of the democracy and philosophers of the Socrates. Asian dominance and Spartan response. There are two leagues, Delian League, Peloponnesian League. Delian League was led by Athens. Peloponnesian League, led by Sparta, to fight each other after the victory of war against Persia. Delian League originally defended against Persia and led by Athens. The Athens read Delian League in a 3-year campaign in order to drive the Persian from Asia. This Delian League secured the independence of Ionian city-state, and this Delian League ensured the Athenian dominations of the entire Greek realm. Sparta countered with Peloponnesian League against the Delian League. Peloponnesian war between Sparta and Athens took place during a period that period considered to be the pinnacle of Asian greatness, the age of Pericles. The age of Pericles. The Pericles dominate Asian politics at the beginning of Peloponnesian War between Sparta and the Athens. Okay, this statue shows the Pericles in the power of about 460 BCE. Pericles was responsible for the construction of Parthenon. Pericles conducted Peloponnesian War successfully. First, okay? This map shows the Delian League and Peloponnesian League. Brown color represent Athens and members of the Delian League. Dotted brown color represent allies of the Athens. Dark brown color represent Peloponnesian League, led by Sparta. Gray color represent the neutral city-state. Okay. What was the impact of Peloponnesian War upon the Greeks? Peloponnesian War made the Greeks weak Peloponnesian War was a war fought between Sparta and Athens, two most powerful city-states at the time. Peloponnesian War shifted power from Athens to the Sparta, making Sparta the most powerful city-state in the mainland of Greece. Peloponnesian War was known as the suicide of the Greeks. The Greeks basically destroyed each other. Sparta destroyed, Athens destroyed. And this war opened the door for the conquest by Macedonia, Philip, and Alexander the Great. This Peloponnesian War negated the earlier Greek accomplishment. The conquest by Philip of Macedon the Philip II of Macedon united the Greek city-state by conquest in 338 BCE. After the Peloponnesian War, all the city-states are weakened, are destroyed. At the time, Macedonia, who lived in the northern realm of the Greece, attacked, invaded, and conquered all of the mainland of the Greece. The father of the Alexander the Great, Philip, united all of the Greek city-states and dominated the Greek under the one rule, the Philip Macedonian kingdom. Sparta, military city-state. Sparta began to fear the rising power of its rival city, Athens. 16 years after the defeat of the Persians, Sparta experienced devastating earthquake. They killed 20,000 people. Sparta, concerned about the growing strength of Athens, fueled the tension that led to the war, Peloponnesian War. During the Peloponnesian War, in 430 BCE, or rather, plague spread out through the Asians. Its victims had high fever, and some Asian people resorted to diving into the water in order to cool down their fever. This plague spread throughout all the Athens. After the long time, broke against the Asians. Finally, Asians surrendered to the Spartan army in 404 BCE. Okay? And after the surrender of the Asians to the Sparta, Macedonian, the Pili, Father Alexander the Great united all of the mainland of Greece. The section 4, the art and philosophy in the classical Greece. The architecture, sculpture, and poetry. Number 1, artistic style and techniques in the classical Greece. Although the artistic styles are often dedicated to the Greek god, Greek artwork also demonstrates the fascination with the humans. Parthenon is a temple that is dedicated to the Greek god Athena on the Acropolis in the Athens. And this Parthenon was regarded as the finest example of Greece, a Doric order, Dorian feature, Dorian style. Greek sculpture. Greek sculpture bore many traditional traits of Greek art. Traditional trait of Greek art includes primary male, nude, well-muscled, anonymous, and blank-faced sculpture. Okay, this slide show the Parthenon. Parthenon is a temple to Acropolis in Athens, built in 500 BCE by the Pericles, and this Parthenon was regarded as the finest example of Greek Doric style, Doric order. This slide shows the face of the ceramic Greek base. The ceramic Greek base portray, engraved the ancient Greek young woman on the chariot, pulled by 4 horses. Young woman won the chariot race. This scene was engraved from red figure Greek base. Greek drama following dramatists are the most famous in the ancient Greek. Aeschylus was the first Athenian dramatist of classical figure. Sophocles was the author of the 7 extant tragedies. These 7 extant tragedies were survived today. And Stephanes was a comic writer. Stephanes satirized, reading contemporary figures such as Socrates and Euripides. Okay, philosophy. There are 3 famous philosophers: Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Socrates' dialogue. Socrates pioneered philosophical method that consists of asking the question. Socrates, told that the unexamined life is not worth living. Plato's famous book is The Republic. The Republic deals with the Plato's attitude toward democracies. Plato told that it is absurd because democracy gave the power to the most popular instead of the educated. Aristotelian idea and Aristotelian principles. Aristotle departed from his teacher Plato's theory of forms. He believed that the essence of things were their observable forms, and that empirical observation is the best pace in order to reach the truth. Section 5. Classical Greek society and religions. What was the nature of slavery in the classical Greeks? Free labor and slavery. Greek agriculture. Although the Greek deeply involved in the trade, however, Greek economy relied on the agriculture. Variations in slavery. slavery was common in the Greece. Slaves employed in both manual labor and skilled labor. Most Athenian slaves were the women. However, Spartan slaves were the foreigners and the Helot. Helot is a people from conquered neighboring states. Helot usually farm the crop. The status of woman. Spartan woman and Asian women are different. Spartan women enjoy the great rights and enjoy the great status than the Asian woman. Spartan women dominate the family life. Spartan woman was considered as a bearers of next generation of warriors. Spartan woman was guaranteed civil rights except for the voting in the politics. However, Asian woman, the Greek woman, enjoy the status above that of the slaves, but below that of the free man. Asian woman was subject to the male authority. Athenian woman was confined to the home. This slide shows ceramic Greek vases. According to this ceramic Greek vase portraying Greek women enjoy the status of that of slaves, but below that of the free man, subject to the male authority. Homosexuality, prevalence in the upper class society, most common form of the same-sex relationship between males was pederasty, meaning boy love. It was the relationship between older male and adolescent youth. Celebration of human body in art and in the sports. Human form was the measure of all things, including beauty and divine. The gods were depicted as a being very, very human. By creating a beautiful sculptural representations of a naked human body, ancient Greece created not only tolerating the images, but also expressed, transcend spiritual ideas. Greek religion, Mountain Olympus. Mountain Olympus was held on the home of the Greek gods. Mount Olympus was considered as the homeland of the Greek god. The Greek god was described as a powerful and immortal, but possessing many human traits, festivals, and religious practices. The Greeks sacrificed to their god in order to attain the divine favor. This slide shows the Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine. Asclepius, the son of Apollo, became the god of medicine, became the god of healing according to the ancient Greeks. He became so skilled in the surgery, skilled in the use of medicine plants, that he could even restore the dead into the life. The myth of this, as Asclepius, is connected to the origins of medical science and the healing art. His cult was popular all over the Greece and popular all over the people from all Mediterranean countries used to come to his temples named as Asclepius to be cured. Section 6, the Empire of Alexander the Great. The Macedonians lived in the north of Greece. The Greek people considered the Macedonians as foreigners. However, Macedonians think themselves as a Greek. Macedonian king Philip II saw Greek city-state weakness and Macedonian king Philip II began raising the army and conquered the northern territories. The Macedonians, who had strong Greek influences, considered themselves as a Greek people. However, the Greeks, on the other hand, didn't think of that and looked down on the Macedonians as being semi-barbaric. The king Philip II ruled the Macedon starting in 359 BCE. The Philip II, king of Macedon, the father of Alexander the Great, was a brilliant general and ruthless politician. He built the professional army using the Greek phalanxes. Philip II was infighting among Greek city-states for half a century. After the Peloponnesian War, he united Greek city-states under his rule. He asked the conquered Greek city-state to join the League of Corinth. Main goal of the League of Corinth is to conquer the Persia. Alexander comes to power. Alexander used as child. Alexander studied under the Aristotle. Under his father's leadership, he trained for the battle. Philip II assassinated in 336 BCE. His son Alexander seized power at the age of 20. With Greek city-state unified under his rule, Alexander set out to conquer the Persia. Main goal is to conquer the known world. Alexander's conquest, subjugation of Greece, Persia, and Egypt, weakened by Peloponnesian War, Greece fell into the Macedonians under the leadership of the Philip of Macedon. Persian Empire models appear to have been the most influential in Alexander's plan for his empire. Battles of Granicus River was a victory for Alexander the Great. India. The Alexander went on to conquer the Persia, taking his army all of the way to the India. Alexander's empire proved difficult to govern, and after his death due to the fever due to the ear, Alexander's empire quickly disintegrated. This map shows the empire of Alexander the Great. Two huge territory. Alexander conquered Persia and conquered the Indus Valley, and Alexander laid the foundation of a Hellenistic world of territorial kingdom. The fact and impact of Alexander's empire, the efforts to rule the Persia, Alexander's key retention of Persian administrative structures. Alexander's division of Greek values and Greek practice eastward was accompanied by westward spread of values and westward practice from the civilizations of the East. Alexander's sudden death, dissolutions of Alexander's empire. His empire proved difficult to govern, and after his death, due to the fever, Alexander's empire quickly disintegrated. Okay, death of Alexander. Alexander's empire reached Indus River in 327 BCE. His army had been fighting for 7 years, more than 1,100 miles. However, his soldiers refused to go any further. On the way back to the Greece, Alexander became ill. He died from the fever at the age of 32. Alexander never ruled his great Empire. Alexander Empire divided between his leading top generals. Antigonus controlled Macedon. Ptolemy controlled Egypt. Seleucus controlled the Asian Minor. Okay? Antigonus became king of Macedonia and control of a Greek city-state. Ptolemy, Alexander's top general, controlled Egypt and become the pharaoh of the Egypt. Seleucus, Alexander's general, become a Persian Empire, settled the Persian Empire. This general Seleucus was known as the Seleucid Kingdom of Persia. Section 7. Connections and conflict in the Hellenistic world. Hellenism. Because of the Alexander, the Greek culture spread and blended with Egyptian, Persian, and Indian cultures. Hellenism influenced language, trade, development, science, technology, mathematicians, philosophy, art, etc. Commercial and cultural connection under the Alexander Empire, trade, Hellenistic kingdom promoted commerce, promoted trade. Hellenistic kingdoms used the Persian wealth in order to construct the road and construct the harbors for the promotion of the trade, cultural exchange, and intellectual exchange. Hellenistic world reflected a new culture created by intermingling of cultures of regions conquered by the Alexander the Great. This map shows Hellenistic kingdom. Hellenistic period is begun in 323 BCE with Alexander's death, and the Hellenistic period was finished in 31 BCE with conquest of last Hellenistic kingdom by Rome, raised kingdom of Egypt. For Asian part, Hellenistic period extends to 10 BCE, when the last Indo-Greek kingdom was conquered by Indo-Sacer's kingdom. Okay. Hellenistic mathematics and science. Hellenistic connections facilitated both long-distance trade and significant advances in the science, such as hydrostatics, was created by the Archimedes. Epicureanism and Stoicism. Stoicism claims that living justly and living virtuously is the highest good that one can experience, while Epicureanism claims that the people should seek to maximize on their pleasures, maximize their happiness. Mystery religions. Eastern mystery religions flowed westward, flowed into the West in religion. Two-way flow of ideas benefit the West more than the East. The Eastern mystery religion gained popularity in the West, Europe, alongside earlier religious traditions. This slide shows the Roman god Mithras, who killed the sacred bull. This bronze plate shows Roman god Mithras, who slayed the sacred bull with a dagger alongside the dog, snake, and scorpions. It was believed that from the death of a bull animal as a symbol of strength and fertility, death of bull sprung the new life, created a new life. Rebirth was essential idea in the Mithraism. Politics and governance. New appreciation for monarchy. Large bureaucracies was unknown in Greek city-state. Monarchies dominated Hellenistic political landscape. Decline and fall. Greece was divided into city-states. Constant worry. A city-state between city-states weakened the Greece and made it difficult to unite against a common enemy like the Rome. Four Hellenistic kingdom includes Macedonia, Egypt, Assyria, and Pergamum. Survived enough to be part of new large empire, Roman Empire. Okay.